Hello, and welcome to Food in Art, a wonderful opportunity for you to get a taste of how two human concerns, nourishment and beauty, have blended together through the centuries to create masterpieces. I'm art historian Elizabeth Lev, and I hope that you'll enjoy these bite-sized pieces of fun, facts, faith, and beauty about food. The Nativity, the birth of Christ, which took place in probably the humblest of settings, a stable with an ox and an ass present. This painting by Conrad Van Soest, The Nativity, painted in 1403, captures this humility of the circumstances of the Incarnation. We can see the straw of the stable, the ox and ass in the background, but Mary seems to lie on something of a regal bed, a red cover, as she holds that nude Christ child close. And in the midst of that regality of the Madonna and child, we have this funny contrast of the figure of Joseph, curled up at the bottom, busily making porridge. So on one hand, the Christ child pulling at his mother's dress, preparing to nurse for the very first time, Joseph, by contrast, is making the simplest and humblest of food of peasants. Porridge, the recipe for porridge, was actually created in the medieval era. And it was created by taking starchy foods, whether it be oats or grain, and boiling it, these crushed fragments, in milk or water, in order to soften them enough for nourishment. So Joseph, busily blowing away, trying to get that fire started with his jug of milk on one side and his oats on the other, ready to make his recipe, contrasting with the beautiful image of the Madonna and child resting in the bed. And many people have seen in that curled up position of Joseph a kind of mockery of the foster father of Christ, seen it as a form of disrespect. But actually, it has a very different meaning. Mary, who kept Christ in her body, who gave her body to be able to give this child to the world, and then will use her body to nourish it, as the many, many, many images of the Madonna lactans shows us. She and Christ are united in this supernatural, extraordinary way. Joseph, the foster father, who has been put in charge of the care of this duo, what can he do? He takes care of the everyday human earthly maintenance of this family. He humbles himself willingly, bending low, but he, with all of his energies, he keeps that fire going. He awakens that fire. He takes those simple, humble things that he has, he combines them, and he creates nourishment and sustenance for his family. It helps us to understand that even we, human beings who can't possibly participate in the divine and holiness of the Madonna and the child, we too can participate in our own way. We too can fuel the fire with our own humble additions. And the way that the painter makes that obvious is by using this very beautiful blue color, a blue that is actually derived from lapis, so one of the most expensive colors, not only covers Mary's sleeves, but is picked up in the pants and the collar of Joseph. There's a beautiful story that Joseph, upon the birth of Christ, having nothing to give like the three kings, took his own pants and cut them up into strips in order to create swaddling clothes for his newborn son. That image of Joseph's willing to give his all, to give everything, his humility, his pride to this holy family, locks the mother and son together. Mary humbly accepts the will of the Lord. Joseph humbly serves his family, and the two are linked by this beautiful use of color. And in that way, through this very simple, very beautiful work of art, it uplifts all of us in our humble station, doing the various little things that we do that may not be great and glamorous, but in our own way, we help to keep the fire of the faith alive.